What it do? It's your boy Yellow the Poet, and today I am here with Mr. Vincent Tomeo, I'm sorry, and he is the author of The Usefulness of Hippopotamus. It's a humorous poetry, very nice book. Holding the book up for you to see. Check it out. Anytime you get a chance, check this book out. I think it's going to be a great addition to the art that we know as poetry. Awesome. Welcome, Mr. Tomeo. We definitely greatly appreciate having you here on YTP Entertainment and looking forward to getting this story out there.
Okay, everybody has a challenge, but how you face that challenge is the question. Now, I chose humor to help me fight cancer and a pandemic. And I have a great friend. She's very much into positive thinking. So I said, you know what? I'm going to fight this. I'm going to win. So I'm going to face this challenge, and I'm going to use humor to help me. And humor did help me.
Awesome.
So I hope that my book will help other people go through challenging time. We all have challenges, but it's how we confront those challenges. I chose to be positive. I chose humor, and humor has helped me through my cancer treatment. If I might read a little poem that will give you an idea.
Please, by all means.
Okay, charging a cell phone. My son visited me in the hospital. The whole time he was on his cell phone. I was on life support, struggling to breathe, survive. His phone was losing its charge, so he pulled the plug to charge his cell phone. Tomorrow, there will be a virtual funeral. I got you to laugh, but that's all I want.
I can definitely understand the humor in that, no doubt. That is so crazy.
I really feel that humor helps one get through challenges. I mean, we all have challenges, and it's difficult enough. But if you're going to be miserable, that only compounds it. So, try to be, lighten up and try to get through.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Don't let people rent space in your head, especially negative people. Separate yourself from, or distance yourself from negative people. They're no good for the soul.
Yes.
So,
I totally agree.
So I have one. It's a little risque. I don't know, but why not? We're adults, right?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay. From the confession booth. We were alone in a church in the middle of the week. We got in the mood, nowhere to go. So we ran into a confession booth. Behind the curtains in the dark, a stained glass window, dimly flickered light. Felt like an elevator going up. Rush, lift, thrill. Whoa, the thought of sinners' stories confessed here. Someone on the other side of the sliding frosted glass panel could slide them open and witness holy sin.
Hey, we're all adults. Hey.
Oh, God.
I like that. I like that a lot. Oh my goodness.
Poetry's a lot of fun. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I was a teacher, and I remember when the teachers used to read poems in class, how boring it was.
Oh my goodness.
They would make you explicate the poem, and this is iambic pentameter, and blah, blah, blah. By the time they were finished, you hated it. I said, no, that's not poetry. Poetry should be something that people could enjoy, something people, if you can't feel it and you can't enjoy it, then it's not poetry. Get lost.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So
Yes,
I was
indeed.
a teacher for 38 years. I know. So anyway, here's one. Toasted. I saw a cockroach crawl into the grating of my toaster broiler oven. I turned it on. Hundreds of little tiny legs scattered in flames. Then all move and stop. The smell of something cooking. I lost my appetite.
No doubt. No doubt.
Now, this one really actually happened. This is some time ago. So this generation may not even know what a phone is.
Oh my
A
goodness.
telephone, a wall phone where you put a grin.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
And this was an elegant lady. She lived next door to me in the penthouse.
Okay.
And I live in the basement. So she used to snub me all the time. So I wrote this poem. An elegant lady dressed so fine in burgundy silk gown, wearing a triple strand necklace of Japanese off-white pearls. She lives in penthouse number 3. I live in the sub-basement next door. She would pass me by like a soul departing a dead body. She did not see me one day while I was sunbathing on the roof. As she passed the putrid public telephone, she gingerly placed her fingers in the coin slot for a quarter.
Fourth quarter, yes.
All right, here's one that maybe some could identify with. Things my mother would say or ask as I got older. You should always make sure your underwear is clean. You never know if you have to go to the hospital. Did you meet someone yet? Are you dating? Are you eating enough? Why don't you talk to me? Nothing to say? Why don't you get along with your brothers? When the fuller brush man comes, do not answer the door. We do not have any money. When I am gone, you'll be sorry. Are you dating? When will I have grandchildren? When I die, make sure I am buried with my slippers on. My feet are always cold. Did you eat? Do not tell your uncle you did not eat. Do not tell your uncle we have no money. Is everything okay? Will I see you married? Ma, please.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I've never met anyone who was so comical about poetry. This is so cool.
Well, oh yeah. Poetry it's fun. It's got to be fun, As I told you, I was a teacher. I tried to make it fun. Otherwise, to get turned off.
Yes, indeed.
All right. High tea with my dog, Grandma. Oh, before I tell you, my grandmother loved dogs. She had 5 of them.
Oh, wow.
And she always used to say that when she died, she was coming back as a dog. So my mom, she had 4 boys. And, so when Grandma got sick, she wanted everyone in the family to take a dog.
Uh-huh.
But my mother said, no, I don't have time for Grandma's nonsense. I'm not going to take one of her dogs. I'm raising 4 boys. All right, so Grandma passed away, and a couple of days later, a dog came in the backyard, started scratching on the door. My mother opens the door. He goes, the dog, and I'm about 9 years old. I said, Ma, Grandma always said she's coming back as a dog. That was it. We kept the dog, we named it Grandma. So here's the poem I wrote.
Okay.
High dog with my dog, Grandma. High tea with my dog, Grandma. Sorry. I served Grandma high tea. She just ate the scones. I spoke of the wall. She put her head in her voice. I spoke of North Korea. She rolled over. I spoke of my mother-in-law. She got up and walked away. I could hear her howl. Perhaps it was the echinacea tea.
Anybody who knows anything about the echinacea tea, you'll understand this one definitely.
You know, one day I submitted poetry, and I'm a writer. I have like 1,145 pieces of literature published in newspapers, magazines, and anthologies, etc., and 2 books.
Awesome.
But one time I sent out some poems, and they sent me back a rejection letter. No letter, no rejection. All they sent me back was a paper clip. So I got so angry, so I had the paper clip bronze and I had it framed. You see, it's up on the wall in my home to remind me that, you know what, you could be rejected, but eventually you're going to get published. So
exactly.
Never give up.
Exactly.
So I wrote this poem because I was really angry. Paperclip exchange, skip number 1. My poetry submission never returned. All I received back from the editor was a paper clip. I had the paper clip bronze. It is now on display in a gilded 15th century bronze frame trapped between 2 acid-free pieces of glass-free plexiglass, secured on an archival matte board with beveled edges painted in pate white. It now has submission powers. It serves to remind all who submit poetry that others came before. Others will come after. I may be rejected. I may only have a bronze paper clip. I may be accepted. Now, before I submit, I think of trees. I burn vanilla incense. I chant the rejection chant. I recite the rejection chant. Thank you. Thank you for showing an interest. Sorry, not right for us. The submission period is between August 1 and November 1. Try us again. Please consider this poem for publication.
Oh, wow.
They published the poem.
All right.
Never give up. You know, never give up.
Never.
And, you know, it's, yeah, I read my poems to my dog. Only Rex will give me all the time I need. Rex sits attentively, wiggles his tail when a poem rhymes, barks, growls at Gothic poetry, howls at slams. His ears rise when he does not understand. Rex nods his head when moved. And after my reading, Rex touches me with his cold nose and licks my salty arm. And I actually do read my poems to my dog.
Oh, wow. So you got Rex. Rex likes the poetry too, huh?
Yes, he does. Yeah, especially when he sits there waiting for the little biscuit I'm going to give him.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't get it until after the poetry.
I guess that's his way of saying, look, I'll listen to anything you got. Just give me this treat afterwards, huh?
That's right, even if good or bad. You know what I do as a poet? I take ordinary things that people could identify with and I make them come alive.
Mm-hmm.
And using humor.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, refrigerator. A revolution started when garlic spread rumors. The very thought of being blended into puree was just too much. Fear overcame all the inhabitants. Heard a noise coming from my refrigerator. Opened the door. Saw leftovers revolting against unopened plastic bags of fresh produce. Spinach slapped spaghetti in the face. Red beets overturned. Applesauce turned orange. Eggs scrambled for dear life. Leftover pizza screamed, "Eat me cold." Asparagus fainted. Robitussin cough medicine taken with amantadine has a strange effect on me.
Oh my goodness.
Well, amantadine was a medication I was once on.
Oh my goodness.
Dealing with it, whatever. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You know, commas. All right. Let's see. Okay. Seniors at the movie. You know, if you go early to the first showing, there's always the seniors in the movie.
Yes.
So I went one day because I said, yo, so what? I'll save some money. And this is what I witnessed. Seniors at the movie. Globes of colorless hair, strands, screaming like burnt wire, salt and pepper gray, antelope flesh, pink veins of purple popping. Cannot see, cannot hear. Too far, too near. Sit here, sit there, changing seats. Heads dot the theater. Trivia on the cinema screen. Gossip vibrates. Cannot really hear. Hush, hush. What? I'll be there soon.
Oh my goodness.
Any questions?
Oh my goodness. There's always questions. Always.
All right. That's some questions.
How long did it take you to make over 1,000 poems?
Well, I did it piecemeal. However, my chapbook I wrote in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a poem about, I was doing my cancer treatment, mm-hmm. and I was getting into a funk, and I said, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get depressed. Mm-hmm. So I thought of something that would make me laugh. And I thought of Walt Disney's hippopotamus, and the hippopotamus are in tutus and they're dancing.
Right.
And it made me laugh because it's incongruous. It's just, ridiculous.
Yes.
So I started laughing, and I wrote a poem about a hippo.
Okay.
And then from that, I wrote my chapbook, The Usefulness of Hippopotamus.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And I even bought a couple of hippos. I have them around the house.
That's
so
pretty cool.
let me get my hippo poem, all right? Because this is what launched the 1,000 ships.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then, yeah. You have to, how you overcome a situation makes all the difference. Mm-hmm. And I chose to speak humor. And anyway, as I said, I try to make things that people could relate to, come alive, and have a lot of fun through humor. Yes. That way everyone could understand. Yes, I could write classical poetry, iambic pentameter, and all of the meters and all of that, but who cares? It's really kind of boring, okay? All right, the usefulness of hippopotamus. Blubber in water, who hears with its petite feet, funny little stubs, 4 legs, 4 feet, a commanding pompous size roaming the river. Its tiny, humorous ears wave and flutter. a wonder it is at all as it wades and waddles in the mud, dunking while taking in the sun to catch a million rays. It becomes a dining room table for birds and other living things.
Okay.
Here it comes out of the water to graze, eating the grass, dropping its dung for other beasts to munch. This is lunch, paving a route, creating streams, roads for other animals to navigate their way. So even the hippo has purpose.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they have a lot of purpose. And this is my book, and those are my two hippos.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. I like that. I like that. That's a very creative cover. Did you come up with the cover?
yeah, I have the two hippos. This one is marble and this one is wood.
Mm-hmm.
So I put them on top of each other like if they were getting busy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's the humor.
Hey,
You gotta put.
gotta be
So
creative. Gotta be creative.
Yeah, you gotta be creative. Yes.
So where are you publishing
And
at?
I'll tell you, in teaching, teaching gave me purpose, but I learned more from the kids. You know, the day I was teaching, and the kids said to me, "Mr. Tomeo, we don't want to learn about poetry." I said, "Well, what's in the curriculum? We got to learn it." "No, I don't want to learn." So they said to me, "Can you rap?" I said, "Well, I never rapped before." They said, "Well, when you learn how to rap, we'll learn poetry." So I went home and I said, "Oh my God, I gotta do a rap." So I couldn't sleep. You know, and I was up almost half the night, and I wrote the Tomeo rap. Next day, I went back to school, and I said, "Okay, here we go. I'm Mr. T, and I'm the educated rapper, and I don't say this because that's the best." Then one day, I went to school to prove to the world that I was no fool. This which was really a fabulous move, and before it was over, a point I did prove. In a world of flowers, there is always a weed for a history teacher who will mold and shape and lead to prompt his students on to leave the farm. If this be a fault, then him they could blame for producing the greatest leaders of the nation, men and women of stature, brilliance, and safety. And of course, the kids were, and boy, the whole class was swinging. So then they said, "How did you do that?" I said, "Could you teach us?" They said, "Well, you start with a blank piece of paper."
There you go.
That's it. And you never know where you're going to go. Right? Just say your thing. You have something to say, so what? It sounds like a word salad. Put it to music.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that works. So,
I like that. I like that.
I love poetry, as you know, and because it has really helped me in many ways. It's a way of communicating with the world. And sometimes when I get angry or frustrated with this sick, sad, sorry state of affairs in the world, I sit down and write. And that helps me cope with the environment and the stress. And I don't like mean people, and I don't like wars. And I see so much cruelty.
Oh my goodness!
It's upsetting to me.
It is. The world is full of it.
Yeah, it really is, and it's because the world is also a beautiful place. You know.
Yes.
I lived in Corona, Queens, and I didn't live too far from Louis Armstrong. And when I was a kid, he used to come out, play his horn. And, you know, I lived not too far from A Lady of Sorrows and Thirst Avenue. And Louis Armstrong, and every time I hear that song that he sings about Corona, where I grew up, my own town, it's just, you know, it's a beautiful world, and it is, and it can be.
Yes.
If only people would not, I don't know, learn not to hate, to appreciate, to love, because there's beauty in all people. They all have, you know, everybody has a story. You know, it's all how they present that story, and I just would like to see more camaraderie and kindness in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to love me, but you don't have to, I don't let people rent space in my head anyway.
Yeah.
But, it would be that people could just be at least civil,
It would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would definitely be nice. And,
One time I saw this little old lady walking across the street and the cars were coming. So I went to help her, right?
mm-hmm.
I go to help her and I go to extend my arms. She starts screaming like a mad woman. And I got, startled, and I kind of backed off. I put my hands up. I backed up, backed off. I said, my God, people are going to think I was mugging her or something, or what's this? And I said, man, I was just trying to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just backed off and walked away.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of frightening.
Yeah. It's a frightening situation. Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, especially when
So
you
now
have people who don't
carry
understand.
A whistle. I'll blow my whistle. Okay. So, you have any questions to ask me?
Most definitely. Most definitely. So
Okay, go ahead.
when was it that you won the pushcart prize?
I was nominated twice
Okay.
by Edge magazine for a poem that I published in their magazine. So they nominated me for the pushcart prize. But I won the Rainer Marie Rilke International Poetry Award
Mm-hmm.
for a poem that I wrote, and that was in Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh wow! Okay.
So that was a real accolade, probably one of the best awards I've won.
Mm-hmm.
And the other awards, many of them were, for example, like Byline magazine would have a contest for
Mm-hmm.
a poet of the month.
Okay.
And so I would submit, and I would get, I would win. So that's, they're all over the place. I can't even remember half of them. But there were three of them that I'm really proud of. When I was in Italy, I was in Calabria, Italy, and I was at this villa, and Mr. Parisi said, go to the top of the villa and see the sunset. It's very wonderful. So I said, okay. Went to the top of the villa, and I saw the sunset, and it was marvelous. So I was up there like 2 hours, maybe over that, and I wrote a poem. So I come down, Mr. Parisi says, where were you? My wife will make a spaghetti. It's moutarde. It's mushy. It's no good. And I said, I wrote a poem. You told me to go up there. I wrote a poem. He said, you wrote a poem. Read it. Read it again. I read it again. Read it again. I read it 3 times. He said, I like that poem. I'm gonna have it sculpted in bronze. And I said to myself, yeah, right. Yeah. So I come home, right, and a couple of months later, I get a call, a telephone call, and a couple of emails, blah blah blah. One from an engineer, one from a sculptor, one from Mr. Parisi. They sculpted the poem in marble.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 months later, I was invited back for the unveiling, and I went, and they paid for it. Okay, so the Italian government paid for it. All right, this is in Calabria, Italy. All right, so I go. I don't speak Italian, but I do know one song that I used to hear on the street. And there was some crazy lady in Corona where used to sing this song on the street, but somehow stuck in my head.
Okay.
So here I am. I said, I don't speak Italian, but I had to stay over the house for the next day for the unveiling. So I said, I don't speak Italian, but I do know a song. So they said, you know an Italian song? I said, yes. So they said, sing it. I sing it. Turns out it's a Calabrian folk song, and they knew the song. So they're singing along with me. So it goes,
Awesome.
it's about a guy who he's got a girlfriend on the side. They call a sidekick. It's Gumarel, right? Okay. But so the wife knows, but she doesn't do anything. She just ignores it. Anyway, sing this naughty song, right? Which I didn't even know what it means. They told me what it means after. But anyway, they start singing it. All right. So next day, I'm at the unveiling, and I'm on stage. They introduce me. They read my poem in Italian. I read it in English. They read it in English. They read it in Calabrian. Then they read it in Roman Italian. And then Mr. Parisi says, "Mr. Tomeo, sing the song." And hundreds of people, they said, "Sing the song? What song?" "The song you sang at my house." I said, "No, I'm not going to sing it." They go, "Mr. Tomeo." I said, "Well, he paid so much money for all of this. I'll dance if he wants. I'll sing the song." So I sang the song. And all these people stood up. They all started singing. It was like a rock concert. I was so embarrassed. It was like a wedding. They had food for everybody that was in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a remarkable experience. So I have that poem that's sculpted in marble in Italy, in Calabria. And so every once in a while I talk to Mr. Parisi, and I don't know how to thank him. So that's one. And another one, I won Rainer Marie International Poetry Contest between Japan, Italy, the United States, Australia. What was the other country? Oh, and England. And my poem won, so I won honorable mention. So, I mean, that's a great honor for me. So, yeah.
That is
Poetry
awesome.
has taken me many places.
That's true.
I've done readings all over the world. I did a reading in Korea. I did a reading in Africa, in different African countries.
Oh wow!
My favorite. I mean, I don't have a favorite place, but I wish I had more than one life to travel all the world.
Yes.
I would suggest that. I mean, it's the best education, and you meet people and you learn about cultures. I have three places that I absolutely adore, and that would be Peru, Machu Picchu, and Iguazu Falls in Brazil and Uruguay. And I love France, the south of France. And anywhere in Africa, Tanzania, if you go on a safari, they are the best. I've been on several safaris.
Awesome.
And it's just, and they're good because they save the animals. It's eco, whatever. Yeah, it saves the animals. Yeah, it's great. I love to travel. I love to, and that's how I learn, and that's how that motivates me to write. I've written poems about everything, because you have to be knowledgeable. You have to have motivated to.
Yes.
And where you get that? Well, you get that all around you.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. So who do you have? Who do you have who do you have that's going to continue the legacy of your poetry?
Who do I have a publisher?
No, like
an agent,
like a family member or a grandchild or sibling.
Oh, I have. I do. I have family. They'll take care of it.
Awesome.
But I'm. What I have to do is I'm in anthologies and I'm in magazines, and I have to really kind of put it together into one anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 1,145 poems into one, big volume.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all over the place. I mean, not everybody reads, let's say, Juniper Berry magazine, or not everybody reads the local newspaper, or Byline, or whatever magazine it might be in.
True. It was my first time hearing of a couple of those magazines. It's my first time hearing about it.
Yeah, many magazines are no longer with us.
That's true.
You know,
that is so true.
there was a Byline, which was a good magazine. They folded, and many.
And they're selling a lot of them to the overseas vendors. So a lot of the overseas vendors are taking them and possibly changing the names to some of them. And we'll never see the old school names again.
But you could get, you have your iPhone. You could get anything on your iPhone. You could, get newspapers, articles, whatever you want. You don't really have to buy a magazine because you have to then store it.
Yeah. So a lot of those places.
I mean, I like to hold a book. I like to hold a magazine, and I like to be published in that venue.
Yes. But yes.
Any other questions?
I agree. It's all good. It's all good. So what was the most memorable moment that you had doing poetry?
That's a good question. That's a hard one to answer. I think I did a memorial for a Marine that was killed, and that was the most touching. And that's on my blog. If you go to my blog, which is Vincent J. Tomeo, all lowercase. Yeah. VincentJTomeo.com. You'll see me. You'll hear me read that poem. You'll get a better idea of some of the work that I've done, and you get to see what I look like.
Yes, and my cemetery friends. Because I was looking.
My cemetery friends.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
It's a celebration about life, not about the dead. And it is a celebration of life in a garden. And a cemetery can be a garden.
Yes.
In fact, I walk the cemetery almost every day, 3.5 miles. I've been doing that for years, even before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, I found solace and peace. I could take off my mask because the dead aren't going to kill me. And I could walk, and it was fine. The birds and the flowers, and it was just a lot of solace and peace. So I wrote this book. It all started, how I wrote the book was the priest that Father Zanin. He was, I was walking through the cemetery on one of my walks, and I saw a priest standing in the rain all alone. And he's burying someone, and there's nobody there, just him, the coffin, and that's it. So I stopped, said a little prayer, and then after he said to me, "Was that family?" I said, "No, I didn't even know the person." I just said, somebody should be here. Why didn't the church or whatever get some people to come? I would have read a poem, right? Something. In Holland, they have a special society. When someone dies, if they don't have anyone, they have a person go to the grave with 2 other people, and they read poems.
Okay, that's cool.
But anyway, so it's raining, and I stop, and then after Father Janet says to me, "Well, did you know this person?" I said, "No." I said, "I just come walking every day." I said, "But my mom's buried here." So he says to me, "Let me walk with you to your mother's grave and bless her." I said, "Oh, okay." And so we walked to my mother's grave, which was quite a ways, in the rain. And that was the beginning of a long friendship. I knew him over 40 years, and we became friends. And I wrote this book, but it's about the people that I met walking through the cemetery. So it's a celebration of life and not of death.
Awesome.
Because you never know where you're going to meet people. And there's even humor in the cemetery.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Yes.
One time there was a man with his 3 children, and we got to talk, and one of the little girls said, "How old are you, mister?" And I said, 70. And she says, "Is that why you're so short?"
Oh my goodness.
You know, she's a little girl. So I'm sorry, I'm vertically challenged, but kids are beautiful. But
Yes,
you know,
they are.
they don't realize, it's innocent.
Yes, they don't. They don't. And they say some of the darndest things. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they say some of the darndest things. Right? It's only, and it's not meant to. It's not mean,
No, not at all. They're just asking the question because they legitimately want to know.
Yeah, they want to know. Yeah. So I thought, he figured I drunk a little bit. Right? Because I'm 70, right? Maybe that's why I'm so short.
But at least you have a new excuse now.
Yes, that's right.
You're not just height challenged.
Well, when I was young, my nickname was Boney. The kids in the Navy used to call me Boney because I was always skinny. And I haven't gained 1 pound in 40 years. I'm still skinny. My nickname, my email is Skinny Fella, 136 at yahoo.com. So I'm the skinny fella who hasn't gained a pound in 40 years. So,
oh my goodness.
Talk about nicknames. When I was teaching, I had a student whose name was Fuku. Asian boy, and the kids, of course, used to call him, you know what. So I said, Fuku, you have to give yourself a nickname.
Yes.
What's a nickname? This was the ESL class, English as a foreign language. So I said, a nickname, call yourself another name, right? Next day he comes in. I said, what's your new name? Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that's okay, good. But they used to tease them, and kids could sometimes be mean, because words do hurt.
Yes.
So
yes, that's funny. He chooses good old Abe, huh?
Yeah, it was innocent, innocent kid, and I learned a lot from teaching. One of the things I learned from the very beginning of teaching, whenever you say, clarify what you say and don't leave any opening.
Right.
Because it could cause a lot of problems. Just whatever you say, clarify it.
Yes.
Right? And don't leave any opening. Because otherwise,
you never know what might slip through there if you do.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, for example, once I said, any questions? And then they come and ask all sorts of questions. They got to clarify. Any questions relating to subject matter in regard to the lesson that we just learned about.
Yes,
that
indeed.
kind of thing. Otherwise, they'll say, did you get busy last night? Or things like that. They ask all sorts of questions. And I didn't know what that meant at first. So I said, well, because I didn't give their papers back. And they said, well, yes, I was busy last night. They said, oh, you got busy? I said, yeah, I was marking all the papers. And then I realized what they were referring to. So you got to be very careful. So you got to clarify everything you say.
Yes.
And I also learned that you keep a professional distance. I'm their student. I'm not their friend.
Exactly.
I always made it a rule. If I had to meet a student, I met him in the library.
Mm-hmm.
Him or her. This way, there was other people around and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I love teaching. It was great. I learned a lot.
That is awesome.
And it kept me forever young. Which is nice. I don't like old people that are grouchy. Man, you have to be grouchy. Lighten up. Go roller skate.
Like I always say, there's more to life.
That's right. That's right. Enjoy what you have.
Yes, indeed.
Not forever.
You got to.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Tomeo, we are definitely reaching our time. So please
Okay, sir.
give us something motivational to take us out.
Okay. When you face a challenge, face it with panache and humor, and don't let anyone rent space in your head. Think positive and use humor to help you get through your challenges, because we all have challenges, but it's how you face and confront that challenge that will make all the difference. I wish you luck. I wish you peace and Merry Christmas.
And one more thing, tell all of our people where they can reach you to get your book, to learn more about your story. Let them know.
Okay. You can get my book through Amazon, both my book, The Humorousness of Hippopotamus, and my Cemetery Friends. They're both on Amazon. And you could go to my blog, Vincent, VINCENT, Day, my middle initial, Tomeo, TOMEO.com. All lowercase, no capital. So Vincent, VINCENT, Day, Tomeo.com. You'll go to my blog. You'll read a brief bio about me. You'll hear me read poetry, and you'll get to know who I am in part.
Awesome.
As my mother would say, it would take forever to get to know me.
Understood. Everybody.
Anything else I should say?
Everybody, welcome and thank Mr. Vincent Tomeo for joining YTP Entertainment. We greatly appreciate you. This has been fun, and it's been a major blessing. Please, whatever you do, continue to fight. Keep going. Let nothing stop you. Like Muhammad Ali said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and keep on moving.
That's right. Thank you so much, and I will. And that's great. That's great knowledge you transferred to me, and I will definitely do that.
Awesome. And we look forward to much more information and books from you, and poetry, humorous poetry.
Thank you. And go to my blog and buy my book, everybody.
Yes, definitely.
And go to my blog, VincentJTomeo.com.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Tomeo.
Thank you very much. This went so wow, it was so, I enjoyed myself so much.
Awesome. And you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your holidays. I will have this out most likely the beginning of January, because I got to get ready for all of my other stuff that I got coming up, but I got you, no doubt. And I'll be sending you the links.
Could I, you're going to send me the links? Could you put it on my blog?
Yes, if you send your blog to me on the pod match, and I'll definitely put it up there.
I'll do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. Okay. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Stay blessed.
Peace.